So you've noticed the weather has drastically changed, and now we are fully moving into the monsoon season. So the different seasons in Ayurveda is also observed as an external factor that can disturb your balance in your body, in your mind, and in your heart. So we're going to see all along the year, whenever there is a change in the atmosphere that comes from the season, there are always recommendations that we should do during this season to feel better. So depending on our constitution, if we have a dominance of Vata, air, of Pitta, fire, or of Kapha, earth and water, the season, the characteristics of the season will also affect the body and the mind. So we know the characteristics of Vata. It's cold, light, dry, rough, clear. It doesn't have any oiliness, and it's responsible for the movement. So these characteristics we always keep in mind, because they are the one that tell us when we observe with our senses, when we see, when we taste, when we touch, when we taste or when we smell. If in the message we collect from the senses has any of these characteristics, then it leads us to Vata. Or with Pitta, depending on if we have the fire predominant or more water, then it will give also characteristics very precise to this Pitta. So when Pitta is full of fire, then it burns, it's hot, it gives a good heat, good temperature in the body. It's also the one that is sharp and is capable of changing, transforming any matter that comes in contact with the fire. It's also light. Any matter that comes in touch will be of a certain density, and after the fire it will be reduced to something, a product that is a lot lighter. So hot, sharp, light, and it needs a little bit of oil to be able to burn nicely. So it's slightly oily. But if this fire has also the water element counteracting the fierce of the fire, then we will have new characteristics that makes a Pitta giving a different aspect. When we think of Pitta that is dominant with fire, we think that it's always about burning, about redness, about heat, about sweating and all. But Pitta also can have a fire that is still there, present, but we feel all the body parts, for example, are not the same heat everywhere. It's not even. Or our appetite, we feel hungry, but as soon as we eat two or three forks of food or whatever, then we feel already satiated. So that means this fire that is there, it's present, doesn't have the same potency. Why? Because probably there is a bit too much water in that fire that prevents the flame to be huge and burn everything quickly. So the too much or a little bit more water in the Pitta will give more some kind of sourness or acidity. Everything will taste like, for example, we leave the food that we prepare at lunch, we leave it to cool down outside, and in the evening when we come back, if we smell or if we taste, it has a slight fermented taste. So you let it to cool off, you probably covered it, so there was some water steaming and then going back to the food, and this contact of water with the food when it's warm, it creates a nice fermenting area where eventually what will come out of it? Little worms. Yeah. So the worms love to be in an environment where it's lukewarm, not too hot either, so they can swim at ease in a pleasant temperature, and they can reproduce. They need a little bit of moisture, and when Pitta is in that thing, that's where we are going to be a great manufacturer of amoebas, worms, intestinal worms, and all. So this water in the Pitta, we don't like it so much. That's why we need to know how it looks like. So it will be sour or acid in your mouth. Or maybe you don't taste it, but the taste in your mouth is not pleasant. It's not the one you are used to. Or someone talk to you quite close and say, "Oh my God, you didn't brush your teeth." Like the breath also can be a little bit repellent. The body odor also. So most of the time, there is a strong odor as soon as Pitta has too much water, and it becomes slow. So it's lower than usual. Your digestion, instead of taking 3 hours, will probably be delayed and take 4 to 5 hours. Or you have your lunch, and then dinner, you don't feel like eating. You are still processing what you had at lunch. And then we have Kapha, that is full of water and earth. And that's what will give these elements. They are the heaviest among the 5 elements. And these ones will give to the Kapha all its volume, density, stability. So the characteristics of Kapha, it's cold, heavy, oily, greasy hair, greasy skin, cold, heavy, oily, sticky, slimy, viscous, dense, like the density of a potato, and stable. So stable is a good quality. As soon as Kapha will get aggravated, the stability will be changed in stagnation. Stagnation will probably give something like that also, some sourness, acidity, or bad smell. The farts comes out with not a pleasant smell. The air that comes out anyway will not be pleasant. As soon as you have that, you know that you are fermenting inside, either in the upper tract or the lower tract. So that's why most of the time, any imbalance, any Pitta imbalance with mostly water, giving these characteristics, we associate it with Kapha. That would be mostly the same kind of symptoms. We need in both of them to reactivate the fire, to give again cold. And so to go again, it's always going against like the treatment or what we have to do. It's always needed to go against their characteristics. So here there's losing some heat, there is some coldness. So anything that is warm, hot, cooked with spices, or exercise that helps the blood to run in the bloodstreams and to give warmth will be always good for these. Same as for Vata, because Vata, same is very not resistant, the opposite, sensitive, very sensitive to the cold. So according to these different characteristics, those who are have a dominance of Vata, what are the seasons that will feel pleasant for them? Summer, yeah. And summer, we have two summers. We have the early summer that is really hot and dry. And then we have the rainy summer when we start to have the storms at night and the rain at night. But during the day, it's still warm. For the Vata people, early summer will definitely be a good one. And rainy summer may be the beginning of the rainy summer. As soon as it becomes too wet and then too humid and probably a little bit more cool, then Vata won't appreciate. But Vata also likes spring, because now at spring the rays of the sun become warmer and warmer. So then Vata again feels much more comfortable with this warmth. But on the opposite, whenever there will be coldness in the air, straight away Vata will feel very sensitive to even the breeze or even a fan can disturb Vata and makes it shivery or cold, or automatically cold hand and cold feet. Vata people are very, very much characterized by this: cold feet, cold hand, cold nose. So the season in red that they won't like, it's definitely monsoon, because this humidity and coldness and dampness, even if it's damp, it should give a little bit of moisture, but it's cold damp, so They don't like it at all. So monsoon is the worst season for the Vata. That's why in Ayurveda it will be the season where we're going to look after the Vata and to do any panchakarma, any detox therapy that will maintain Vata healthy during this season. So monsoon is not felt very good, and end of rainy summer. Then for the Pitta, in general, Pitta suffers pretty much in summer. Great heat inside with heat outside, explosion around. It can be skin rashes, prickle heat, anything on the dermatitis. Pitta people during the summer have lots of skin issues. But it's always with the redness, with an inflammation, with urticaria, like lots of scratching, and maybe oozing, also some kind of liquid or pus coming out. But Pitta loves monsoon. Finally, a little bit of water to calm down that fire, and now the Pitta feels comfortable. The heat is pleasant, can still wear just a t-shirt in the middle of the night, but it's very, very pleasant. And the rainy summer can do good because of the rain at night, but during the day it can still be a little bit hot for the Pitta, and will sweat a little bit more, and especially if it's quite humid outside. But still, the water helps the Pitta to calm down. And then winter time, it's heaven for Pitta people.
What about winter for the Vata?
Winter for Vata, if Vata gets well protected, it's fine. Otherwise, yeah, it's cold and it can create some problem, especially in the joints. And the winter can be quite dry. And Vata also have lots of dryness in the skin, in the heels during that season, the eyes. So winter is not so well recommended for Vata. And for the Kapha people will do very good with the summer. Both summers are early and rainy, doesn't matter. And spring is when Kapha will feel worst, because during winter, which is a good season for Kapha, during the winter you probably noticed that your appetite becomes stronger. You feel eating food that is more nourishing, or more with gravy, or hot, or potato stew, or like to add cereals or carbs that give a little bit more consistency in your food. Because your appetite becomes stronger. The coldness outside into the body makes that your fire, or the body, the intuition or the intelligence of the body is to protect the organs from the cold. So all your heat goes more inward to the stomach, to the liver, to the intestine. And because of that, then there will be more blood supply, making your appetite stronger. Now the fire is more in the middle. So during winter, we eat more, and it's totally normal to increase weight by 2-3 kilos. It's the adipose tissues that creates a little bit of puffy material to protect you from the cold outside. But at spring, as soon as the rays of the sun become stronger and become hotter, then all this accumulated fat that was in the winter to protect you from the cold now wants to run out, come out. And it's mostly at spring, as soon as the temperature are a little bit better, then we have hay fever problem, we have rhinitis, sinusitis, any problem of a respiratory tract, or in the morning you feel you always have phlegm that you want to spit out. And this is this accumulation of kapha during the winter that now wants to come out. So we're going to help this kapha to liberate itself from this heavy, sticky, slimy phlegm, that this kapha that wants to come out. So during spring, that will be the time for detox of kapha. During the monsoon, we detox vata, and pitta, we will detox it at the fall. It's between and the rainy season and before the monsoon starts. There's always a time where there is much less rain, but the days are still warm. So you don't need to cover yourself or to put some socks to feel warm. So fall will be the season for detox. Fall for Kapha would be accepted nicely, and also for Vata. Monsoon, fall, and spring for each of them are the moment where naturally the body is going to expel the excess of toxins. So you don't need to do much. You just accompany what wants to come out. So during monsoon, we're going to see that all the food and diet that is suggested during this time will be something to calm down the Vata. We don't want Vata to become too cold, too light, too dry, too rough, not enough oily, and to have a hectic, hyperactive lifestyle. We want to calm Vata and to give the opposite that would be first to be grounded. So we want to do 10,000 things, but we will do only 5,000, half of it. We want to, from the morning, early morning till late at night, without having a break or without taking time to just sit and breathe, that's again going to be a problem for Vata. So all the energy we're going to produce, knowing that Vata is located physically in the lower abdomen, we're going to do all sorts of concentration and give attention to that area to make sure that it is warm, kind of grounded, slightly moistured, or oily with oil, massage oil, or gargling and all. So we're going to eat the food also with enough oily lipids, oil and ghee and butter, even we can take during this time, and not to be too hectic or too active energetically. So for this,
why especially the lower abdomen?
Vata, the location of Vata, it's in the lower abdomen, even if it's the lightest in terms of energy, because it has a dominant of air and space. But when we look at the functions of the Vata, what it does in the body, it will be all the movement possible and all the different kind of movement, up, down, side, circular, in and out. So the movement basically are located in this area where you don't need to do so much effort. It's the central part of your motion, of your movement. So when we look at Vata, when it inhale all the way down to here. When it exhale from here going out. When the food needs to move, it also spend lots of time in that area, and that area is where it starts moving and going to other directions, either by absorption through the intestine and the blood, or absorption through the bowel, the colon, to be able to observe all the nutrients and vitamins and minerals, and then from this movement, whatever is left over and residue, then it's also a Vata that allows the movement coming out. So that's why most of the movement have a departure or an ending in this area. That's why Vata is located in this. If Vata is not there, you will see that you will always have any of your movement that is impaired. Vata gets disturbed, you probably feel constipated. Or if you go to the toilet, you need to push a little bit more because it's not coming like fluid. So any movement, you will see also the movement of the thinking is a little bit more speedy, or you wake up at night and the mind is already very active and difficult to hold on the speed of thoughts. So all these are the movement. And you check here, and if it's slightly cold or you feel too light, doesn't have any puffiness or whatever, then Vata is probably aggravated. So you need to bring down energy in this area. In the Nabi, there are 3 different centers we will see in a different class. 3 different centers where we reach the energy we need to produce something. So in this area, it will be our core energy, the energy that makes us move without thinking, without being an effort. It's like a spring. Your mind says something and ding, you jump and you do and you start. Or you wake up in the morning, you jump out of bed without thinking, shall I not? Maybe Kapha is doing that, but Vata, certainly not. As soon as Vata gets awake, it has this impulse, like a spring. And this spring is this energy we have here in the core, that is called in Chinese medicine the Tantien. When the Japanese, when they kill themselves, they do harakiri, they cut the vital energy and then death follows straight away. So that means here it's really the deep energy that makes this matter moves with fluidity. Then we have the other center of energy, which is Hridaya, which is for the heart, and this one will be the source of energy for the all the 12 qualities around the matrimandir. That would be the source of all these qualities in the heart. And then the other one is from the third eye, that we call manas. And manas will be your energy, your capacity to organize, to concentrate, to memorize, to plan, to have a good discernment, to have a good judgment. So during this late summer, everything was still hot. You didn't feel like wearing a jacket or wearing something warm during the day, or socks, or little shawl around your neck. There was some water that just felt pleasant. For now, all the heat from the summer has been cooled down by those storms at night, and makes also the air a little bit more breathable. Even if it feels like stucky and like a pressure cooker, it's still a little bit more, for the body, more appreciated than the full summer. In the summer, there is something physiologically, your body is used to a temperature of 35, 36. So as soon as the temperature outside exceeds 36, then your body needs to do the opposite, which is to cool down. And body is much more comfortable by warming up than cooling down. So that's why in the summer, at the end of the summer, we feel drained, we feel tired, we feel exhausted, no energy, as if the sun took all the energy out. So now, with these summer rains, it feels a little bit better. Like the level of energy is kind of coming back a little bit more. We don't need to struggle that much to keep the body 36, and outside now it's maybe 30 degrees, 28. Now it's much better. There will be level of apprehending the seasons. Like Pitta people will still be complaining because it's still hot and steamy. But Vata people and Kapha people will definitely enjoy that time. For them, it creates, like for the Vata, it creates everything they need. The heat, kind of lightness, not so much, but the dry and rough. All of a sudden, the skin doesn't look so dry. They like it. So all these characteristics will make that Vata can be a little bit relieved by this. The Pitta, because of the moisture in the air and moisture through the rain, Pitta will start fermenting by developing more this kind of characteristics. So during the monsoon, we will deal mostly with cold and humidity. And this moisture in the air automatically will give definitely, like if you look at all your belongings, is bound to have fungus everywhere, in all places. All this moisture, will get accumulated also in the body. I don't know if you've noticed, your eyes, when you wake up in the morning, they are a little bit more puffy than usual. Or you have beautiful lips, more pulpy. pulpily. The hair is more fluffy or curly, or yeah. So all this moisture, your body also absorbs it. It makes it reflect to you are made also of 80% of water. So water plus water makes it a little bit more increase the quantity. With these rains, the dominant tastes, every season has a taste that if we try what comes out from the nature or what grew during this time, all the fruits and vegetables of this time will probably be more of a sour, with a sour taste. Nowadays, there's a lot of different kind of lemons, orange, now the mandarins are coming. They're all the citrus, they're all the sour, the sour fruits or the sour food for the season. So seasonally speaking, it's good because they are full of vitamin C. So the vitamin C will protect you from the cold, basically. So nowadays, if you feel like having a glass of warm lemon with a little bit of honey in the morning, go ahead. It's a good season for that. And then salty. Probably salty also. Maybe you feel these days you are more craving salty stuff, or you want to add a little bit more salt, or you just cook spontaneously with more salt. You can observe and see if it's the case. And this would be also the reason, salt retains the water in the body.
Yes, so I would have thought about that for the summer because we sweat so much that I would have thought about...
In the summer also, you feel like having more like salty or electrolyte, something like that. Yeah, because it's more to counteract the exit of minerals. Whereas here, it's a kind of like similarity between this moisture that is around. Outside, when we put salt, it absorbs the moisture. So if you have an edema, or if you have a cyst, or if you have itis, tendinitis, bursitis, or things like that, you put some rock salt outside, and it will absorb the excess of moisture or excess of liquid fluid you have in the part. So from outside, it will extract, but from inside, it's basically to give you a little bit more water to your body. This water also it's the same as earth. It's something that protects you from the coolness. So the salty taste will be probably there if you want to observe. Then after, how these kind of elements are going to affect our body. So mostly we're looking at it at the two levels, the effects on the body and the effects on the mind. On the body, slowly the pH of the body becomes more and more acidic. And it will be because maybe your potency, your fire, to give you temperature, to give you good digestion, to give you clarity of mind, reduces a little bit because now maybe the water reduce the quality of your flame in your digestion, in your heart, and in your mind. And in the mind, it will be a time probably when you have all these rains coming, where you feel returning and coming back, turning inward and come back to yourself, and don't want to be exposed to that coldness, to the humidity outside. So in the positive way, it's a moment also like we want to stay at home and resume here in the warmth and coziness of our being or our space. If we go to the negative, some people spending too much time on their own or feeling they can't go out and be social and meet and be productive and do all their activities, this can bring all the Vata emotions will be probably more felt during this time. And the Vata emotions are anxiety, anguish, fear, insecurity, stress, and lack of enthusiasm or confusion. Nothing seems interesting, nothing seems like grasping your attention. So that means also your energy is not here anymore. It's probably Vata, when it gets aggravated, it's like a hot balloon, or it's like a balloon. As soon as it's not held nicely in the lower abdomen by doing your exercise and holding the ball and turning around your tante and all, poof! And if it stays inside, okay, it bothers you all along, so it will give you pain everywhere where this Vata goes. So it's a kind of pain that is constantly fluctuating. One morning you wake up, you have pain in your shoulder. The next day, in my hip. The day after, my tooth. Or one nose, whatever. It's a traveling pain all along. So during monsoon, also, if you have this traveling sensation, don't bother. It's Vata that gets aggravated. And bring it back to its place. Breathe in. And stay in your center, in your middle. We know what we are going to deal with. Anyone feels already under the spell of this monsoon season? Knowing also that Vata time, it's between, Vata time it's 2 to 6 a.m. and 2 to 6 p.m. So you wake up during the night between 2 and 6. Observe what the quality of your thinking right now during that period. The 2 to 6, it will probably be something that creates doubt or worries during the day. And then during the night, you will probably have to deal with it and to try to find a solution, but there's no solution possible because Vata can't find a solution. So if you have those sleepless nights or you wake up during this time, this Vata time, be sure that if you are not well balanced with Vata, you will feel anxious, and just feeling anxious of, I'm not falling asleep. I'm not falling asleep. And this is enough also to make Vata run out. So you do Yoga Nidra. You go to your big toe, observe the sensation in your big toe, observe the sensation in the sole of your foot, in your ankle. The more you're going to center Vata back to its place, back where it belongs, maybe the abdomen is still too close from the mind. So now we're going to go all the way down to the feet and take the time to observe all the sensation. Or we're going to do cycles of breathing. We're going to breathe in for 4 and we count, like counting the sheep. 1, 2, 3, 4 with the inhalation. Then we hold it for 4. Then we exhale for 4 or 6. Then we keep it for 2. And then again we do. And if we keep the mind concentrated on this cycle of breathing, normally Vata goes back to sleep. Why? Because you didn't put any attention of what the mind is talking about. What you want to do is to distract this Vata from its normal thinking. So you give something that will make Vata feel. And to feel, Vata needs to go into the body. And once it goes to the body, again, it has its grounding and centering, and now Vata is not disturbed. Again, Vata becomes enthusiastic, becomes light, jumping from one subject to another. Now you're not sleeping for another reason, it's because you have too much creativity. Oh, yes, so then tomorrow I will do this and I will do that. And again, go back to the big toe. 1, 2, 3, because this one is also gone the other direction. Sleep at night. If we finish the timing, so Pitta time will be from, Kapha will be from 6 to 10 a.m. or p.m. And Pitta will be from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. From 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. We're going to make sure that this Agni, that we will see more thoroughly in a next session, this digestive power to digest the matter, to digest the emotions, and to digest the organization and the intellect. How are we going to keep it strong and to keep it also fluid, that it burns properly and nicely? We have some strong characteristics depending on if you are Vata dominant, Pitta dominant, or Kapha dominant. Normally, people with more Vata in their body are people that don't really have a regular appetite. One day they feel hungry, the next day not. For them, it's quite irregular, and the quality of hunger also varies. They don't have the same appetite during the day or the following the days. So during monsoon, this irregularity will be even stronger. They become completely hectic with their way of eating because of the irregularity. And because it's irregular in the upper part with the appetite, that means also the movement going down will be irregular. So maybe during monsoon, Vata people will probably suffer more constipation or retention. You still go to the bathroom every day, but you feel that there is still more that would like to come out, but it's not possible. Or maybe the stool is a little bit too dry to prevent a good movement. So irregularity, and if the stool doesn't come out properly, it stays in and it ferments, or it creates gas, a blockage. So feeling bloated and with gas can be also a symptoms you can experience during monsoon. So then they give what are the flavors that will favor a better Agni for the Vata people. So then everything that is spicy will always give warmth to the body, and all the food we needs to be warm, cooked, and well spiced. Now we're going to keep on the side any raw material, any salad, any raw food. If we still want to have a little bit of raw food, it will be at lunchtime, but a side dish. It's not your main meal of the main dish of your meal. So Vata person will need to have all these different things more than usual, and the sweetness will be probably also from eating more. They will feel probably to have more potatoes, more rice, something, because the sweetness, it's not the material itself, it's the taste that comes to your tongue. How does it taste? And cereals, they're all sweet taste. All the food, basically, most of the food we eat is sweet by nature. So we wouldn't need to eat biscuits and cakes and pancakes or things like that, because we already have enough sweet in our diet. Then we have the Pitta people. Pitta people, they are the ones that have a full, strong appetite and strong digestive fire. That means when they are hungry, they leave what they are doing and they're going to eat. They go for food. And their appetite is big and consequent, so the food they're going to eat also, it's quite heavy. Their lunch is normally a big portion of food that is taken. And they will eat protein and carbs and fibers and maybe a dessert and take a second serve, and they digest nicely. And because of this strong fire, within 3 hours, no matter the quantity, again they will feel hungry. It has been digested nicely and properly. And no matter how much quantity they eat, they are not the people that will put on weight easily. Maybe 2 or 3 kilos, but it looks good and it looks even on them. And they reduce a little bit the food and they lose the kilos very quickly. They are quite accordion with their weight in that sense. So the fire is burning properly. I'm feeling hungry, the fire is there, I'm eating a good proportion. 3 hours later, the food is already going down nicely. Again, the fire comes in the stomach, feel hungry. And due to that, they are the people that have a very timely going to the toilet. They are the ones that wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, ding, first thing they do, let's clear this bowel. Everything has been all digested, transformed, metabolized, all well organized, full of vitality and energy in the morning. Today I'm going to do this and that and that. Pitta wakes up in the morning with their list of things to do. 1, 2, 3, 4 bullet points, and even chronologically very detailed. So that's why with the Vata people it can clash sometime, because one is completely in the air and enjoying the movement of the air where it blows that side. I will choose this, and that side, and I will choose that. And the Pitta say, come and sit. We plan to do this. Yeah, we'll come. Oh, I've got a new idea. No, we are working on this idea. Pitta loves its aromatic herbs, yeah. And especially parsley that feels fresh, and coriander that feels fresh. They are the two for the Pitta people that usually they enjoy very much. And the intelligence of the body is there, because parsley is one of the best aromatic herbs for the liver. So the liver is the organ related to Pitta. So we are constantly helping liver to be green and to be producing a good bile that smells properly and not sour and acid and gives a bad taste in the throat. So for Pitta, we're going to give things that will help the liver also to be strong. Now, the liver received a hard time during the summer where it had to cool down, help to cool down the body. So the liver comes out of the summer a little bit weak, like grumpy and not at ease and probably frustrated and irritated with anything and impatient, and you never do what I want you to do, and judging and self-criticizing. All these ugly Pitta emotions are more likely to be felt also during this season, when there is not enough fire to absorb the excess of moisture. So we're going to help the liver now to gain again its strength and energy, and we're going to give anything that is bitter in taste. And now, every week, maybe twice a week, you eat bitter gourd. You learn a good recipe that you enjoy and you like, and it tastes good. Pitta has the courage, the discipline, the strength to say, yes, it is good for me, I'm going to do it, and it will repeat it every day, 6 o'clock, after going to the bathroom, then come to the kitchen, clong, and now Surya Namaskar. We're going to give some sweetness to the Pitta, so it's not fermented and it has a sweet tongue, like nice words to be said. Otherwise, yeah, Pitta can be quite bitter with everything. Kapha kind of enjoy, yeah, this monsoon makes the Kapha a little bit more heavy. Lots of moisture outside brings maybe puffiness, more puffiness for the Kapha, so Kapha will start swelling. The ankle at the end of the day might be a little bit more swollen also, or when you put your chapels, or now you want to wear boots, more difficult to get the foot into it. So Kapha gets a little bit more swollen. And the coldness is not felt right at the beginning. Before it travels through the adipose tissues, Kapha will feel the coldness much later than Vata. Vata feel cold straight away because it's very thin and it's very sensitive to the coldness, whereas Kapha is also sensitive, but it took a long time to cool down and now to feel cold. Definitely this excess of moisture outside will completely reduce the digestive power, and they're the people that already don't have so much appetite. They have more craving for sweet things, whereas compared to the stomach calling for food for the energy. So now during monsoon, even less. So for them, let's give them 2 months of fasting totally, completely. Poor little Kapha feels all alone and lonely, and nobody cares for them. So then we're going to bring warmth to all this, more warmth and movement, much less food. Maybe we're going to eat only lunch, because lunch will be the only meal that then during the night will nourish the whole cells, the whole body. And for breakfast, Kapha person listen to the appetite, but if there's no appetite, we wait. We just take hot tea, hot herbal tea or ginger tea, something warm also with spices that ignite the fire and wait until lunchtime. And then same for the evening. Maybe Kapha doesn't feel so much appetite, or if it has been pretty much active during the day, physically active, if there is appetite, we're going to eat something warm, like a soup, a nice vegetable soup with the spices again. But we're going to choose honey more than, sugar or palm sugar. Palm sugar and jaggery and white sugar and brown sugar, they are family of the palm or beetroot and all, and the effect on the body is cooling, whereas now we want cooling. It has a cooling effect, calming, cooling. So now we want to stimulate and to give warmth, so we're going to give honey. That will be much better. So the Kapha, much less appetite, but feels lonely and all alone in the corner, maybe has a craving for sweet things just to give comfort to the heart. So first, we're going to give to Kapha a big hug, and Kapha is going to also hug himself and say sweet things like, no, I love you, no, I'm always here for you, blah, 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 and Kapha will be happy and forget that it needs a biscuit. It received. That's it, simple. So now for this season, basically with fruits and vegetables, just eat whatever comes, and that is good to eat warm and cooked. And with the fruits, because the fibers are not so heavy to digest, you don't need to cook all your fruits. We know that papaya has, after the digestion, it eats the body, it stimulates the body, so papaya is a good fruit for this season. If there are some mango, maybe we can still have mango if they are sweet, but if they are too sour, acid, then we're going to forget it. And we're also going to use all the vegetables that are sweet in nature to nourish this heart that might feel a little bit lonely. So take like beetroot juice or beetroot soup, carrot, this mix of apple, beetroot, and carrot. If we do juices, we will take until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And then after we shift to only cooked and warm thing. Then we're going to take also the proteins that are kind of light and easy to digest. So all the dal, mung dal, especially masoor dal, they are light grains, so they are easy to digest, and we always put lots of spices to cook them, to cook. Curry leaves, cumin, black pepper, ginger, garlic, whatever, you name it. For the Vata people, they will soak all the grains before to make sure that it doesn't give any gas, but otherwise we cook them with lots of spices. And we're going to do also all the proteins that are nourishing. So maybe you feel like having a little bit of curd or a little bit of cheese. If you like these things, just have it breakfast or lunch, never in the evening, because it will create again more puffiness or more heavy tongue or coating on your tongue. So cheese and curd only at lunch and morning.